over here on the left side of the map, ESV Sanshorn Miss, we have our red Terran player from Team SEV Life. It is none other than Polt. His opponent at the 2 o'clock position from FX Open Esports, winner of the last 2 games, our blue Protoss player, it is TAC3.
You know, I went into this match with a little bit of TSL bias. I've met Polt and Inori, like them both as people, but I have, like, TAC3's play to me. He has been, like, almost perfect. And if anyone could beat Polt, you know, in TVP right now, if any player was playing like TAC3 played last game, that was absolutely insane PvZ. We'll actually now get to see if he actually has PvT that's as good as that PvZ we just saw.
That's right. So we'll see now what his strategy is going to be. And we've seen this map go really both ways in PvT, and it rewards aggression quite a bit. Yeah. We've seen Terran players that have been able to successfully Reaper expand because of the amount of cliff line that's actually available to them, and then follow that up with super heavy drop play. And by the way, Polt's pretty big fan of that bio drop play.
Yeah, he loves the bio drop. He loves bio in general, and especially against Protoss. He does it so well.
Now, conversely, for Protoss players, we've seen this map reward 2 base Colossus pushes in incredible amounts. We've seen I mean, I go back to this example a lot, I apologize, but Squirtle in IPL4 in 2 consecutive matches annihilated both Marine King Prime and Slayer's MMA. Back-to-back matches with the exact same build, quick 6K Colossus.
Exact same build, and this map is like made for it because, you know, as a Terran, you never want to try to engage Colossus in a choke, but you don't really have a lot of choice on this map. You know, you can try to engage in that little sweet spot, you know, like just between the Watchtower and the natural, but other than that, like, there's chokes everywhere on this map that it's really hard to get good surrounds on the Colossus, and that timing comes at such an, you know, a really hard point for Terran to do. TAC3, you know, he goes up to 3 base really fast against Zerg. I'm curious if he's going to try to go for a time. Wow, that is a super fast Nexus.
Yes, it is. So what he did was, did he scout his opponent at all? No. Okay, so what he's done, as we can see out of Polt, it's going to be a 1 Rax gasless FE for him as well. I've seen some Protoss players actually do this, where what they do is they build the gateway so that they're absolutely safe, and then they decide to expand afterwards. Now, this has been a slow progression. It used to be that they would build gateway and gas just like normal, and then they would scout, and then they'd see, oh, wait a second, he's going command center first, or he's going 1 Rax gasless FE. I don't really have to worry about anything, so I'm just going to stop all of my gas production, stop my gateway production, go over to Nexus. And it looks like this is just the next natural progression without having to be super exposed and go for Nexus first. He can put down that gateway so he knows he can make emergency zealots, and it looks like his zealot was able to get in and at least take a look at his opponent's base, but yet still take that super early Nexus.
Yeah, this saves you from proxies and bunker rushes and stuff, you know, that you would not be safe from if you just went straight Nexus first, or even it lets you get some kind of defense against 2 racks if it just happens to be that sometimes. So I actually really like that. I haven't seen it a whole lot. I'll be curious, you know, to see how it does against, you know, this little type of pressure. He actually is going to have a Stalker in time, but I would like to see other Protoss players do this and see how it fares, you know, in the long term against Terran.
That's really well timed out as well, I have to say. So, I mean, that Stalker hits just as the first few Marines were pushing across the map or when any bunkers would show up. This is clever out of TAC3. TAC3 is impressing me in this set, I have to say. Now, we haven't said enough about Polt. It's because, well, it's Polt, man.
Polt, man.
Yeah, he's, you know what he's going to do. He's going to go for heavy bio. He may have a crazy way to go about it. He may even, sometimes he'll throw in that, like, Tank Banshee Marine push that someone like Nada really likes to do. But otherwise, he's pretty predictable and super solid and always fun to watch.
Yeah, he hasn't made any mistakes right now. And has TAC3 even scouted Polt's base once? I don't even think he has. Yeah, you just saw that. So, yeah, he is completely blind, and he's not going for a fast robo. So unless it's hallucination, Polt can do whatever he wants, and TAC3's going to have no idea. That's actually a pretty quick stem.
Yes, it is.
So this looks like he might just put, you know, go mass barracks, as he usually does, and try to hit some kind of a stem timing before there can be any Templar Colossus on the field. And that will require some very good force. Ooh, little mistake there by TAC3.
Yeah,
it's going to force him, you know, to make some really good force field or die just to a bio push.
That's right. And the probe's like, no, I do not want to be here right now.
Yeah, let me go home. Let me go home.
For the love of God, please. Well, this is pretty interesting.
I like that.
We've seen some Protoss players do this, and well, we actually saw one very embarrassing example of a Protoss player did this. I remember when Cronte accidentally had to throw in their manager.
Yeah.
He decided to go 1 gate into Forge and then didn't produce anything off of them.
Yeah.
That wasn't as cool, but we've seen some Protoss players that have gone for this relatively quick Forge, get that +1, almost like a reversion.
I love that +1
early
armor because, as you see now, Polt getting the +1 weapons, and with Guardian Shield +1 armor, it's the perfect counter to that stim timing push where you have a bunch of Marines and +1 weapons. So it looks like TAC3, he's correctly identified what Polt's doing, and he's actually doing a pretty decent counter for it. We'll see if he decides to go to Colossus for it, afterwards, but very, very good reaction by him. Polt's timing is still going to be very strong because he'll probably have he might have a medevac out by the time +1 finishes. It looks like he's going to wait for +1, not just stim when he does this.
And TAC3 gets a good look at what sort of defenses that Polt is preparing. But yeah, I mean, it seems like we're having a renaissance of this +1 armor. We used to see it all the time back in the early days of Protoss versus Terran because the justification was, as you said before, you have Guardian Shield plus the +1 natural armor of the Zealots plus the +1 armor that you're actually given, and Marines do basically no damage to you.
Yeah, God, man, TAC3, I don't know, I'm obsessing, but he's reacted so perfectly. Robo Bay on time and the 2 more gateways. He is really, really prepared for this, and it's just going to depend, how he actually reacts. He's, a lot of times you'll see a Protoss be a little bit behind in supply when they're trying to catch up in tech to Terran at this point in the game, but he's only 4 supply down. He's actually reacted really, really well. And now when this timing push comes by Polt, he might actually have a Colossus made in time at his base. It's going to be very, very close, but he's done everything right this game.
That's right. So now, first medevacs are just popping up as barracks number 4 and 5 get added on. Very standard stuff. And he does throw down a couple of force fields.
He's got to be careful with that Immortal.
Yes, he does. He traps a couple of units, but I do not think he wants to be engaging right now. So just wants to put on the pressure and make Polt a little bit scared. But, Polt, it is him. He could very well just pick up and decide to drop on the side if he wants.
Yeah, I think Polt, he's going to either drop or go right now. His +1's done. I'd be very surprised. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if he did not attack right now. But yeah, Colossus is going to be out, and it's going to be interesting to see. Oh wow, I like that stim actually too, to try to catch a stock at the watchtower. But it'll be interesting if Polt sees that Colossus and he decides if he wants to go anyway, or if he decides he's going to back off and wait for Vikings and go for a third.
Well, he does have 4 medevacs up now, so now. Oh, great
very
snipe!
Wow, that was, and he did it so quickly that there was no reaction time Kiryu could do. And he does see he's making the third, but yeah, I think Polt might just back off once he sees that there's Colossus in there, because I don't think he wants any of that. Man, TAC3, the great positioning here, and now Polt's going to have to force his way up the ramp if he wants to do damage here because he can't drop on that ledge like you would normally see.
That's right, so...
Oh, wait, no, TAC3's going out of position, and it looks like... Oh, okay, Polt sees the Colossus. I really doubt if he's going to try to engage that now.
And there was the, you were talking about this spot where Bio has some maneuverability and things like that right around here as well. That would have been the only spot he could have tried if he wanted to, but even then it would have been a super risky proposition with the low number of Marauders that he had in the army.
Yeah, so Polt's just like, all right, there was the timing push, no big deal. I don't have to attack. I'm now building my third, and now it's up to TAC3 to react to this, because even though Colossus do well against Bio, you need an economy to keep up with it.
That's right. And Polt decided to proactively build his second starport as the factory was going down, and he got the last of the scouting effort.
Very, very smart. TAC3 has to be careful because he does not have an observer on the army anymore, and if he gets caught out of position, bye-bye Colossus, bye-bye game. It can turn very, very quickly in TVP.
Just noticed the wild Tiffany appears.
Wow,
just,
he is
poked in.
All right, he scans it, and now, TAC3, he's going all in here. This is the 2 base, and it looks like it's going to be a base trade. Polt does not want to try to fight that in the open.
All right, here it comes. So we're going to see what Polt is able to do here. It's really going to come down to if he can pick off any of these Colossi. I mean, that's going to be the big benefit to him. But, of course, his opponent's buildings are stationary, and Polt has this cool ability where he can actually take one of these orbital commands and move it to the island if he wants to. So
the Smiley Face Island.
The Smiley Face Islands, yes. And it looks like Polt now finally dropping into the main. A bunch of probes are going to be pulled off the line as TAC needs to do as much damage as he can to the standing army. And Polt actually a little bit more worried back at home. He's pulling a lot of units now, and he is able to deal with the Colossi. Has Vikings sitting in the air because of the multiple starports, was able to make a couple of additional units.
And TAC does not have Blink, which is a huge problem. He's not actually going to be able to buffer those SCVs as well. Oh, wow, but it looks like TAC is pretty prepared at home, too. He has a Colossus with range. There's no Vikings up there. He has enough medevacs to kill the Marines, but it doesn't look like Polt is just going to be able to push in and kill the base as easily as he thought he was going to.
That's right. So that being said, let's take a stock of the damage. 31 workers to 42, but with 3 orbital commands and triple mules, it shouldn't be that big of an economic deficit for Polt. And is everyone just going to go home, or is Polt going to try and go for it one more time? He's moving up the ramp right now. He is. He's going to stim and go for it. Is he going to be able to do enough damage here, splitting up the forces so well?
Oh, great micro to get the Colossus
as well. Oh my God, so well done, and he is going to be able to pick apart a lot of the rest of the units here, actually lowering that probe count one more time. He really wants to finish off this Nexus. If he does that, he puts himself in a great spot in this game.
Meanwhile, TAC actually went over and killed Polt's third, but the thing I like that's going on is that TAC decided to get Blink, and let's see if Polt actually decides to try to go for the Twilight if he's going to see it that Blink's researching, because if he gets that, that is actually going to be really big.
And he's picking off pylons for now, trying to depower a couple of structures. Oh, he's just going to make his way in against all of these units. Oh, this is just the vast majority of his opponent's economy. He's down to 21 workers now. Another Colossus is up, and these medevacs are going to have to get away. Blink is going to finish, however.
Just a second too late, and good for Polt, because losing those would have actually been a pretty big hamstring to his efforts. Polt definitely has a superior army. TAC, his army isn't, terrible, but he is significantly behind now, especially because no! Does he see it? Oh, he might lose all of those units.
And he does! And TAC with a great catch there, keeping him in the game. If TAC actually didn't catch those, I was about to declare him dead very, very soon. As it stands, though, there's just one medevac up now for Polt. The economy's a lot better for Polt, though, and don't forget, he is on a second base still.
Yep, TAC's just all in now. He's, he realizes that he can't make his base. He should have just pulled his probes, because this is going to be it. If Polt holds, he wins. If he doesn't, he loses. This is going to be an insane fight. Pretty good army composition on both sides. 5 Vikings, Blink Stalkers, and Sentries with 1 Colossus.
And it looks like Polt just wants to run down the ramp and engage.
Nice
he
force
gets
field.
A lot of his forces caught off. Yeah, as you mentioned, the Colossus still up with 78 hit points. Does pick off a couple kills on these Marines as well. Polt going to lose the units that flanked around the outside. So TAC does a little bit of damage, but of course not reestablishing his next base. Still pretty dicey for him.
Oh wow, he actually is going to keep warping in, and great play by both players right here. TAC just trying to bait Polt into the choke point, hoping to get him to stim his units without that medevac count, because he just killed 4 of them.
That's right.
And Polt is just trying to get TAC to come up the ramp so those force fields aren't as effective, and he's trying to get that Colossus out of position still with the 5 Vikings against a low HP Colossus.
That's right.
Nice bait by TAC. Baits 3 Vikings into dying and managed to get most of his Stalkers out, and that Colossus is still alive.
That's right, but Polt's forces are growing very, very quickly now, so it's going to be very difficult for TAC to continue to make things happen. The Colossus does have 11 kills on it, but now continuing to take damage from those Vikings once again. Just 1 Viking remaining, however. More of the air forces are going down. In fact, the medevacs are basically out of energy, but 2 new medevacs are joining the fray as well. This Colossus still alive, but the supply deficit just keeps going a little bit further in Polt's favor each time.
Wow, he's doing a good job at keeping that Viking count. Every single time they come up, he blinks and he snipes it immediately. But yeah, Polt's economy is just too much at this point, and TAC might have to GG if he doesn't start winning this soon, because he is just running out of money.
That's right, and it looks like Polt is going to go for it a little bit here. Oh, not the greatest force fields. It zones some forces out, but all it did was really hurt the Zealots more than anything else. So TAC trying to blink to the side. Looks like he's not lost this Colossus quite yet, but the forces are rapidly going down, and TAC, his rate of destruction may finally be at an end. He's losing the rest of his units. There's the GG, and TSL.Polt has tied things up 3-3.